Hello, welcome back to the Byzantine Places series. This is number 7. I'm Sean Munger, that history guy, and I teach history courses online. What we're going to see here is not a Byzantine building, but it's still magnificent, and it is in fact the site of some great importance in Byzantine history. This is Fatih Mosque in Istanbul, formerly Constantinople, and it was built on the site of the Church of the Holy Apostles, which was the second most important church in the Byzantine world after Hagia Sophia. And you can see the magnificence of this mosque. The Byzantine emperors were buried here, in fact, from the very first Byzantine emperor, Constantine the Great, who was buried on this site in 337 AD, all the way up to Constantine VIII in 1028, when they ran out of room, in fact, to continue to bury emperors there. Some of the sarcophagi survive. They are at the Istanbul Archaeological Museum, a few of them, but of course the remains of the emperors are no longer there. The Church of the Holy Apostles was dedicated in 330 by Constantine. It was rebuilt by Justinian in the 500s. Justinian, of course, the quintessential builder of Byzantine history, the Ozymandias of Byzantium, so to speak. Let me know in the comments if you get that reference. Anyway, this church housed holy relics, huge amounts of loot and treasure, gold plate, and relics of the saints and of Christ, which were very, very valuable and sought after. This, of course, is why this church, the Church of the Holy Apostles, became a prime target for the Crusaders in 1204 during the Fourth Crusade, who looted the church. And in fact, they broke open the tombs of the Byzantine emperors who were buried here and stole their jewelry. Supposedly, the Crusaders were amazed when they broke open the sarcophagus of Justinian, who had died in 565, some 600 years before, and found him perfectly preserved. And of course, they stripped all the bodies of everything and then hauled it back, in large measure, to Venice. The leader of the crusade, Enrico Dandolo, was a Venetian. So the church was in disrepair following the restoration, the Paleologian restoration of 1261, as many buildings in Constantinople were. It was totally neglected during the period of the Latin Empire. It was still in bad shape when the Ottomans conquered Constantinople in 1453. But the Church of the Holy Apostles did survive for a brief period after that, for 9 years, until 1462, when its dilapidated remains were pulled down, and then under the tutelage of Mehmet II, the conqueror of Constantinople, he began to have this site refashioned into a mosque. So Fatih Mosque, and you can see its beautiful domes here, was built on this site. This mosque was in fact damaged by an earthquake in 1766, and the main dome collapsed. It would have been this one up here. So the site was then reconstructed, and what you're actually looking at was the latest version of Fatih Mosque, which was completed in 1771. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful Moorish Islamic architecture, a work of art certainly in its own right. It's very, very beautiful, but of course I would have loved to have seen what the Church of the Holy Apostles must have looked like in Byzantine times, particularly before the Fourth Crusade. So this is an interesting example of how Byzantine history and the later history of Turkey and the Islamic world really are fused at the hip. I mean, you can't separate them. So and in fact, the architecture and style of this place is very heavily based on Byzantine cathedral architecture, principally Hagia Sophia, which is why it looks so much like it. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment or share it. This is a very crucial time for the development of this channel as I'm getting these series going. My website, my platform for my history classes is thathistoryguide.com. My name's Sean Munger. I also have a historical podcast called Second Decade. And you can also visit my Patreon campaign, patreon.com/Sean Munger. So I'll be back with more Byzantine history in later installments of this series. Thanks very much.